got some changes. Welcome to everybody in the audience as well. Has everybody got a tracking document? Bring your attention to page 5. You're going to see this throughout 1.0.1. These will be common changes throughout the document. An increased employer share of the state health benefit plan. So I want to bring that to your attention. Next, we move to page 8. Audits and Accounts Department. And we've got a change there.
What's the number?
41.1. Is that right? 4.1.1. All right, I've got a couple different documents in front of me. Just a second.
That's correct. You're fine. The first change she's going to talk about is 41.4.
This is a $90,000 and 41.1.4 funds from the Department of Community Affairs for the regional commissions and an audit done, and then 4.3.1. This is a pass-through in the amount of $40,000 for a tax expenditure report that was done. Moving on to the accounting office. Which I do not show here.
That's the common change again.
That's the common change that we were looking at for the employees.
Same thing.
Another one located at 12.1.1. We've got on 12.1.6, and that's a replacement of fund through a state transfer. And then we'll be moving to 12. Where are we at? 12.5.1. That's a administrative change, transfer funds. There's a balance throughout on the telecommunications and in regards to the workman's compensation that you'll find throughout the document as well. $12.10.4 Aviation Authority. And that is $1.2 million from selling of some aircraft. I think the plan will be to bond those in the future. Any questions on that one? All right. Great. Thank you.
Can I make a comment?
Please.
I am concerned that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am concerned that when we initially set this up, that this was supposed to be self-funding, and if we do this, I know that at some point in time we're going to have to come back to appropriations to ask for some additional monies, and also I believe it's in 2014 that we are determined that this actually authority will sunset, and so when they come back to ask for additional cash from the budget in 2014, it could ruffle some feathers that it's not doing what we said it was going to do initially, and I would just like for you and the committee to be aware that we need to have the facts available at that time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. All right, let's go to, I'm getting scribbled as we go to here. Banking and finance, 14.33. This captures a savings from a temporary help. We went from full-time to seasonal and temporary. That reflects a savings of $37,000 and change there. On driver services, 20.2.3. Provides reductions, again, for the balancing of the compensation for workman's comp as well as telecommunications. Again, you'll see that throughout the document. Office of the Governor, same thing at 26.3.2. Office of Child Advocate, that is a $2,200 savings. I'm sorry, thank you so much. 26.10.5. That's savings of rent money that was captured because of the office closing in Macon. 33.5.2, Department of Natural Resources. This is restoring funds used for the planners and the regional commissions, $163,000. They've basically already done the work. Representative Pruitt, do you have a question?
No.
Okay. Thank you. They basically had already been doing the work. They're 3/4 into it, and so we felt that it was important to go ahead and continue funding that $163,000 for the historic planners. This is a 33.7.3, a reduce of state funds of $94,000. This is some cuts that they'll start implementing this fall, again, in some worker programs that the agency offered in the Parks and Recreation and historic sites. 33.11.4. This is for the Georgia Agricultural Expo Authority. This is a $500,000. They've been extremely successful this past year. We typically in the past have left something in the neighborhood of about $350,000 to $400,000 in case they have a rain day there. Their reserve fund has built up to something like $1.2 million, and so we felt that $500,000 was the appropriate amount to capture. We think that covers them should they have a rain day in the future. It also helps them make sure that they get to the reserves where they can be self-sufficient. Next is 41.5.3. I'm sorry, .4. Let me find it. Did you take it?
It's right here.
That's 40. The number. What the number changed to?
41.5.4.
This is just a correction of a federal grant that we got in federal funds to reflect an accurate balance. 41.7.1. This is a fully funds obligations in the past budget year that we've given them. it adds $6 million. I think they were looking for a total of 17. We're just trying to eventually fully fund them. And then 41.10.4. This is other funds that they've been collecting, and really nothing. If you'll notice at 41.11.2 shows a 128,000 cut. It's really just to make sure that it shifts to the appropriate agency. They're collecting it in one, and we want to make sure that they kind of get credit for the amounts that they've been collecting. And I think we've got the Secretary of State's office, 42.1.1.
And it's 0.6 on your sheet.
Let me catch up here. They've had an increase in rent, and we're helping with that since the state actually paid that.
12 months.
Yes. 42.3.2 is a 5% match. That will draw down $2 million to help with the American Vote Act. So anytime you put $100,000 to draw down $2 million on federal, that's good news. Yeah, that's right. 42.5.4. That was the money needed to put back the pharmacy board exam. Was originally recommended that be dissolved. The board voted to keep it in place. It's part of what's called wet compounding. And then 42.6.4. That's a $46,000 cut to hold vacancies an additional 2 months of the year. They already had them in place and hadn't filled them, so we're just going to hold them an additional 2 months for a savings of $46,000. Any questions from the committee? Great. At this time, I'll entertain a motion. Ms. Secretary? Yes. Got a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. Thank you.